Jacksonville Breeze versus the Baltimore Charm on LFL Football Night. Kickoff is next.
Back to Baltimore Arena, and before we kick it off, we go down the field with Courtney Seawack.
Thanks, Mitch. Yes, I'm here with Morgan Spencer, who's finally out of the shadows of Angela Rippon, who is starting quarterback. Morgan, you're now the face of this franchise. Are you nervous at all just before this game?
No, I'm not nervous. We're very well prepared for this game. We lost it in last year, and I'll tell you what, we're not going to lose again this year.
Good luck. Back to you guys.
Morgan Spencer definitely relishing the role as a starting quarterback for the Baltimore Charm. She loves not having Angela Rippon looking right behind her, trying to get in the game. It's going to be interesting, Mitch, to see how she plays tonight as the starter.
Obviously, Coach Clark heavily criticized as the offensive coordinator for Baltimore under that two-quarterback system. Now it's Morgan Spencer in the driver's seat as we get this game underway in the 5th anniversary of the LFL in the U.S. That is TC Mesta bringing out the opening kickoff and goes for about 25 yards. And Baltimore will take over at the 19-yard line. TC Mesta performing as a kickoff returner this year as well. And there is Morgan Spencer. We talked about her in the broadcast open, and she is on the hot seat tonight as the starter.
It feels great to be out of the shadows of another quarterback and finally be the leader of this team. I feel like I can take control and finally do my thing and run this team like I want to and be the kind of quarterback I always wanted to be.
Sure, definitely has the confidence going into tonight's game. The question is, her stats are not staggering, Mitch. She had an okay year stat-wise, but now as the starter, can she step up and take control of Baltimore?
That's an excellent point, and the number one question around Baltimore right now. As that offense takes over from the 19-yard line, Spencer under center, little misdirection handoff. That goes to TC Mesta getting on the outside edge, all the way to the second layer of that Jacksonville defense. And that is Lauren Ziegler coming up on the stop as we meet the Baltimore offense.
Allie Dickey, center. Heather Hudson, tight end. Cardi Davis, tight end.
Katie Ferguson, wide receiver.
TC Mesta, your running back.
Morgan Spencer, quarterback.
Savannah Dickey, at tight end.
TC Mesta has to step up and have a huge game to take the heat off of Morgan Spencer.
And there is a first down handoff to TC Mesta. Looking impressive early on, and now we meet the Jacksonville defense.
Lauren Ziegler, free safety. Janita Kanya, cornerback.
Sierra McMillan, cornerback.
Adriana Purnell, your strong safety. Sage Steinmetz, defensive end.
Katie Bryant, tight end.
Dina Wajowski, middle linebacker.
Last year, Adrian Purnell was the LFL Defensive Player of the Year.
A huge season for Purnell at strong safety, and that is Allie Dickey on the left side again. Not having the power of TC Mesta, but that will be enough for a Baltimore first down, moving the chains.
A great block on the outside by Savannah Dickey, the left tight end position. But watch Lauren Ziegler on this replay right here. Coming up strong like Ed Reed from the free safety position, putting a big lick on the outside edge there for Jacksonville.
Lauren Ziegler, perhaps the most complete athlete in the LFL on both sides of the ball. Coming up on the form tackle there as we're looking at a first and goal here for Baltimore. Ball at the 9 of Jacksonville. Fake handoff. Morgan Spencer going to the right. Running out of real estate, and Dina Wajowski all over her.
Oh, here we go, Mitch. Already, early in the season, we got the flags flying, the fists are flying. Wow.
Neither one of these two teams are going to back down. That is Dina Wajowski, the middle linebacker. And it looked like it was just a late hit away from the football.
Both these teams are playing like they have a chip on their shoulder after what happened last year with Baltimore not making a championship game. And at the end of the year, Jacksonville folded.
And here's a look at that replay. There's Dina Wajowski and Allie Dickey taking a swing. Here's the call from Robert Strouder. And that is the old offsetting penalty, which is hated by most fans. And Adrian Purnell there on your screen going to play a key figure tonight. We sat down with her to talk about this team.
We've never gone to the cup because we've never executed at our level. Now that our group has gotten tighter, we're definitely coming for that title, and it's sky's the limits for us.
Adrian Purnell, definitely an extremely emotional player for Jacksonville. Her stats right there are staggering. What a year she had. And as I mentioned, she was the defensive most valuable player in the league.
Now a 2nd and goal after that penalty. Back at the Jacksonville 14, another fake handoff. Spencer looking in the back of the end zone, going to try the left side. And that is Savannah Dickey. And Baltimore fans recognize that last name. That is the sister of Allie Dickey.
Great read right here by Morgan Spencer. She made, with her eyes, she made the safety move to the left. She came back and hit Savannah right on the sideline, inside the 5-yard line. Great play by Baltimore.
Now Baltimore looking at a 3rd and goal. And if you question Morgan Spencer's arm strength, you saw her deliver on that last play. And a key play early in this game. Inside handoff this time to Heather Hudson, who had some clearance. But that is Lauren Ziegler closing fast from that safety position, Bobby.
Ziegler read that play. The whole offense from Baltimore was going to the right. They thought T.C. Mester was getting the ball. Heather Hudson came from the right tight end position, took it to the left, and Ziegler nailed her for no touchdown.
Excellent call by Gary Clark, the offensive coordinator of Baltimore. You just can't anticipate a Ziegler-type athlete on the other side of the ball. And here is a 4th and goal. In case you're wondering, there are no field goals in the LFL. Every possession is 4-down territory. There's a handoff to Katie Ferguson. Katie Ferguson, a big impact player, a rookie that they have developed this full off-season and are very high about, Bobby.
Another great call by Gary Clark. They had Katie Ferguson split out to the left. They come with a fly motion. They hand her the ball for a sweep to the right. A great call, and Baltimore looks like they're starting out just like they left off last season. They're on fire. They're going head-to-head with one of the elite teams in the LFL.
Now the extra point attempt by Baltimore. They're going to line up from the 3, so they're going to go for a 2-point attempt here. Spencer under center, scrambling right, going to try that right side. And just off the fingertips of it, looked like Heather Hudson.
Another great call by Gary Clark. They thought that T.C. Mester was going to get the ball. Heather Hudson does a check block against Adrian Purnell, then goes out in the flat. She was wide open. She should have caught the ball. A great throw by Spencer, but she dropped it in the end zone for the extra point.
Now we get our first look at perhaps the most explosive offense in the LFL. And that's KK Matheny, the 3rd-year quarterback. Has a great arm, instinctual, and a solid leader, as you talked about in the open. 1st and 10 now from the Jacksonville 15-yard line. That is Lauren Ziegler in motion. KK Matheny, inside handoff fake to Steinmetz, looking down the field. That is to Bren Renda. And Tashana Gaines coming up on the stop as we meet Jacksonville's offense.
Adrian Purnell, tight end.
Mitch, a lot of people around the league expect KK Matheny to step into her own this year. She has all the tools, as we mentioned before the game. She just needs to step to the next level and take this team to a championship.
Now a 2nd and 10 play handoff to Stage Steinmetz. Steinmetz on the right side. And Steinmetz goes for about 11 yards. And Brittany Johnson coming up from the corner position.
Mitch, there is no love lost between these teams. Watch Brittany Johnson come in high. She had no intention of going to the ribs and the waist. She went right for the head of Sage Steinmetz.
A big run nonetheless by Steinmetz. That racked up 11 yards. It'll set up another Jacksonville 1st down. Lauren Ziegler going to be a key factor of this offense as the season unfolds. Now KK Matheny under center. Ball at midfield. There's the handoff to Sage Steinmetz, trying the right side, now cutting to the left side, getting past the defense, and that'll go for 24 yards. We expected the power, but not the speed, Bobby.
Steinmetz right now is a wicked, dirty running back. She's running all over Baltimore. She's like a bus driver taking the kids to school, Mitch.
Unbelievable explosion to get to the left side. And that's Sage Steinmetz, who was moved to running back just last year.
Great zone blocking up front for Jacksonville. Steinmetz read the blocking going to right, came back around the left, read the hole, ran for daylight. Big score for Jacksonville. They're overpowering Baltimore right now.
Jacksonville ties this up at 6-6. They'll go for the 1-point conversion from the 1-yard line. Athene in the shotgun. Looking over the defense, high snap. Gets her feet underway and an easy pitch and toss. That one to Dina Wojciechowski. And Wojciechowski doing a little bit of a shuffle there.
Wojciechowski, just like everybody else on this Jacksonville team, can do it all. We knew she could run. We knew she could tackle. Now she can catch. A great answer by Jacksonville. This ball game is as advertised, Mitch.
What excites a lot of Jacksonville fans is this mature group of veterans, most of which have been together now for going on 3 seasons, pretty much under the same system.
That's why they were ranked #1 preseason in the East in the LFL.
They are a deep roster, as we talked about in the broadcast open. And this Baltimore team, at times, have been overpowered by Jacksonville their last 2 matchups. Baltimore now believes they have the size and the talent to compete against Jacksonville.
They do, Mitch. They went right down the field on the opening drive, and then Jacksonville answered, and they did the same thing on Baltimore. This is a great game so far.
And there is T.C. Mesta, not able to get to the outside. That is your 2013 Defensive Player of the Year, Adrian Purnell, coming up from the strong safety position.
Mitch, you mentioned the weakness of Jacksonville was the defensive line. I don't see any weakness in this defense right now, especially with the leadership and fire that Purnell has.
Now it appears we've got a penalty on that last play. Wow, that is a big call against this Jacksonville defense. That is an unsportsmanlike conduct, and that'll give Baltimore an automatic first down and moves the ball nearly to midfield.
If there is a problem in that defense, sometimes they get too emotional, Mitch. Purnell and company, they tend to throw punches, and when that happens, that helps the other team. Lets their drive keep going, which is going on for Baltimore right now. Now they have a chance to score again because of that penalty.
Those are the kind of disciplinary issues that you sometimes see with a first-year coach. Obviously, Damon Jones, the former Jaguar, has taken over in Jacksonville. And that is the first-year running back for Baltimore, Adaya Oshikoya. And Oshikoya gets about 7 yards on that run.
Gary Clark is looking for somebody to replace Crystal Keys, who's not with Baltimore this year. And Oshikoya and Katie Ferguson need to step in there and help out T.C. Mesta. And Oshikoya looked great right there.
Several key rookies stepping in for Baltimore. And that should bring us to the end of the first quarter. Much like advertised, it has been an absolute battle, and a battle that Jacksonville leads after one, 7-6.
CDI Fitness is the official gym sponsor of the Baltimore Charms.
Baltimore Arena, Mitch Mortaza, Bobby Huco, and Courtney Seawack on the sidelines. And we've got a great matchup brewing here in Baltimore. It is Jacksonville beating Baltimore 7-6, now with Morgan Spencer under center. Dropping back, looking to the left side to Allie Dickey. Just overshoots the second-year receiver.
Great play action call by Gary Clark. Dickey was open out in the flat. In the pocket, Morgan Spencer, she has boys, just overthrew her. In the first quarter, I'd have to grade her a B. She got the team in the end zone. Didn't have any really great outstanding plays, but she was in control of the offense. Right there, that was a huge miss. That could have set up a touchdown for Baltimore.
Allie Dickey now becoming a featured receiver in that offense. And Gary Clark coming out strong with the play calling. A good mixture of run and pass. That incomplete now sets up a 3rd and 3 from the Jacksonville 19-yard line. Two receivers split right now, one in motion. Inside handoff, double reverse. And that is Allie Dickey again. And that'll be a Baltimore first down. We keep talking about Clark's play calling. That was another great call.
That's the Clark we expected when he was hired last year in his first year in the LFL. He was an outstanding receiver for the Washington Redskins, wide open. We expected that offense. We're finally seeing it tonight. An empty set, a double reverse like that. That had the potential to score. It only got 5 yards, but did get a first down. Great call by Clark.
That will set up the ball at the 14-yard line for Morgan Spencer, as she is under center now in the pocket. Checking to her receivers. Now does a little dump off to TC Mesta, and Mesta breaks to the left side, and that's going to go for a score. A 14-yard touchdown pass from Morgan Spencer to TC Mesta.
Great play by Morgan Spencer right there. Her poise in the pocket. She looked like a veteran. Only 2 rushers for Jacksonville coming in. She stayed in the pocket and hits Mesta out of the backfield. All the safeties drop back. Mesta checks down. Nobody's underneath. Great play by Morgan. Let the safeties drop deep and hit Mesta for a touchdown underneath.
It's been the play calling that's kept Jacksonville's defense on their heels. A great series from Baltimore. Now they'll try the 2-point attempt again from the 3-yard line. Morgan Spencer dropping to the right side, going to try to run it in. Now finds Allie Dickey, but Dickey drops it in the end zone. Another lost attempt for Baltimore. Penalty on Baltimore is declined, and that'll keep the score at 12-7. Impressive, though, that Baltimore staying in the game, Bobby.
Really, right there, that's a big miss by Allie Dickey. She's usually a reliable receiver, but Mitch, she was all thumbs on that catch.
Once again, Dickey, a featured receiver in this offense. And we talked about it earlier, her sister Savannah Dickey joining the lineup now.
Very athletic family, and points like that you can't take off the board against a team like Jacksonville. You need every extra point you can possibly get.
Now Jacksonville taking over. That is Sage Steinmetz once again breaking into the open and still on her feet. That run goes for 28 yards, and Steinmetz just blowing up this defense.
Baltimore thinks they have Jacksonville on the edge, and then boom goes the dynamite. Steinmetz around the left edge, almost for a touchdown, 28 yards. Watch this little misdirection right there. Reads her blocks beautifully and takes it almost into the end zone.
When Steinmetz gets that motor going, that is a load to take down, especially if you're in the secondary. That is going to be a mismatch every time with a safety on Steinmetz.
Even back to when I was coaching Miami, she was a beast. We could not stop her. She got hurt. She hurt her knee bad, but she's back 100%.
Now from the shotgun, Matheny to Renda. And Renda just can't get her footing. And that'll go for no gain and set up a 2nd and goal for Jacksonville.
Not much there. I don't know if I like that call by Damon Jones. They're running the ball right down the throat of Baltimore. They're on their heels, and then tried a quick tunnel screen like that. It's unneeded when you're running all over.
Jacksonville also trying to keep the defense on their heels. But I agree, when you have Sage Steinmetz motoring the way she is, not sure why you don't line up and just give her the ball. 2nd and goal now from the Baltimore 7. Matheny inside handoff from the shotgun, and Steinmetz losing her footing. At Baltimore defense, heavy pursuit. Now let's meet them.
Cardi Davis, corner.
Keys to that defense tonight, Mitch, are Kim Jack and Tashana Gaines. Tashana Gaines is playing great right now at safety, but Kim Jack, we can't find her on the field. We haven't mentioned her name one time all night.
That Jacksonville front doing a great job on Jack. 3rd and goal handoff. This one to Ziegler. And Lauren Ziegler goes for about 3 yards, as a lot of the Baltimore defense was probably isoing Steinmetz.
They went right at Kim Jack, and she answered. Great play by her and Heather Hudson. And when they're on, they got a little bit of gangster in them. Watch this play. They go right at Jack. Jack throws off the blocker, makes a great stick with the help of Hudson right there. Great defensive stop.
Now a crucial 4th and goal here. Baltimore needing a stop to preserve their lead.
This is where KK Matheny has to step up. She plays good all game long, all year long. In clutch spots, she has to play big. Let's see what she does.
Now the crowd getting on their feet. 4th and goal, shotgun. Matheny over the middle. That was intended for Adrian Purnell, nothing doing. And the Baltimore crowd loving that incompletion as Baltimore will take over on downs.
Purnell was open. That play seemed to be a second off from the start. It was a high snap, which took Matheny's eyes off of the play, onto the ball. She got the ball, got composed, a little bit behind Purnell. Should have been points right there, but the whole play was off. Good play by Baltimore.
Now Morgan Spencer goes back to work. A 1st and 10 from the Baltimore 3. Back in the pocket. Gonna look down the field. And Lauren Ziegler coming up from the free safety position. Robs Morgan Spencer.
You know what Gary Clark was trying to do, make a big play after return of possession like that, trying to go deep, but you don't go after the #1 safety in the league, Lauren Ziegler. She is a ball hawk. She'll always come down with the ball like she just did, Mitch. Huge play by Ziegler.
And that will bring us down to the 2-minute warning of the first half, a heavily contested first half. And Lauren Ziegler going high. We are back to the Baltimore Arena. A highly contested first half of play, the 5th anniversary season opener. The Baltimore Charm versus the Jacksonville Breeze, and the hometown team taking an early 12-7 lead in this one, Bobby.
Gary Clark calling a great game until that last play. He went into the no-fly zone of Jacksonville. Like you mentioned, the two best, the combination of those two at safety, you can't go over top of him. He tried to do it, and it cost him. And this could be a big turning point in the game.
Big interception by Ziegler. Now sets up Jacksonville from the Baltimore 19-yard line. There's the handoff. This one going to Steinmetz. Steinmetz still on her feet. All the way down to the Baltimore 1-yard line. There is absolutely no answer for Steinmetz, Bobby.
Wow, Sage Steinmetz is simply bad to the bone tonight. What a kick-out block by Purnell to open up that huge hole for Sage to go through. At what point does Gary Clark make a change in his defensive scheme and maybe bring up gains from safety to help the run penetration to stop Steinmetz?
There are definitely going to have to be some adjustments at halftime as we now open up KK Matheny's mic and listen in.
I love that call by KK right there. She's going to run the clock down, let the clock go down, and score, not give a lot of time to Baltimore to try to answer.
Matheny once again in the shotgun. 1st and goal from the 1. Shotgun snap, that one handoff to Sage Steinmetz, and Steinmetz on the left side. And that's going to go for another Jacksonville score.
Steinmetz is simply a human highlight film tonight, Mitch. Not a whole lot of blocking out front. That shows you what kind of athlete she is. She simply outran the Baltimore defense to the corner of the end zone.
There is little that Baltimore can do defensively right now to contain Steinmetz.
Watch the blocking up front. There is none. She simply outran the defense. That shows what kind of athlete, and I believe that was Kim Jack who couldn't bring her down, and she's an all-fantasy performer herself.
Could easily be the breakout running back this year. Has always seen reps back there, but never featured like this in this offense. Sage Steinmetz racking up 83 first-half yards.
Unbelievable. Simply unbelievable for the first half.
Now Jacksonville for the extra point attempt. They're going to go nobody in sight. And that one to Dina Wojcicki once again. And that'll give Jacksonville a commanding 14-12 lead going into halftime.
Another great call by Damon Jones. The whole team, the whole Jacksonville team went left. And then Wojcicki slides underneath, wide open for the extra point. But going back to that interception, that play call by Gary Clark, turned this game completely around. That could have been a time-consuming drive for Baltimore. Ended up being a touchdown for Jacksonville.
Absolutely right, Bobby. That could be a game changer. Perhaps Coach Clark got a little too greedy there, as his offense has been pretty effective in moving the ball and moving the chain.
Against a different team, maybe. You try to hit the home run quick after a turnover or change of possession, but not against these safeties.
Now a 1st and 10 handoff to TC Mesta, nothing doing. And it looks like Baltimore is content to just run out the clock here and be down only 2 points against the powerhouse Jacksonville.
I think you're right, Mitch. I think Gary Clark is content to go in the house just down 2 points. They're still in the game against the powerhouse, and let's play in the second half.
And this should be the last play of the half. Morgan Spencer looking down the field, nothing. And that was also almost intercepted. And that will take us to the half, with Jacksonville leading this one 14-12 behind the wheels of Sage Stein.
Welcome back to LFL Football Night. Mitch Mortaza alongside Bobby Hugo. And Bobby, here we are at halftime, 14-12. Jacksonville with the slight edge. We expected that because of the loaded roster. But what about Baltimore?
Baltimore is hanging tough so far, which is great. Coach Gary Clark told us before the game he thought his team could compete with an elite team like Jacksonville, and so far they're competing great. The only problem is on defense, Baltimore cannot stop Sage Steinmetz. She's torched them for 83 yards so far, only in the first half.
That's an amazing stat. When you think about it, that's only 16 minutes of football, and she's racked up 83 yards. And then, you know, when you look at it, everybody coming into this game, we're really comparing TC Mesta and Sage Steinmetz, the 2-star running backs of this game. And through one half of play, the obvious edge goes to Steinmetz with 83 yards on the night through one half of play. And then you have TC Mesta, who's been held to only 19 yards. And perhaps a lot of that credit goes to the interior line of that Jacksonville team that we talked about in the open. Now, if there was a key for each of these two teams in the second half, what would it be?
For Baltimore, Kim Jack has to get that defense to step up and somehow stop Sage Steinmetz. They have to put the ball in KK Matheny's arm and let her try to throw the ball over that secondary. They can't let Steinmetz run for another 83 yards in the second half. And for Jacksonville, they have to keep doing what they're doing. Give the ball to Sage Steinmetz, make Baltimore stop her. Until they do that, just keep giving her the ball.
No, absolutely. It's working for them. Now let's take a look at the first half scoring plays. It all started with Morgan Spencer leading Baltimore down the field, and then it was the rookie, Katie Ferguson, on this 1-yard touchdown run to give Baltimore the early lead. It did not take long for Jacksonville to answer with only 1:48 off the clock. Sage Steinmetz exploding on this 24-yard touchdown run. And then it was Baltimore again staying in the game in the second quarter. Morgan Spencer finding TC Mesta on this 14-yard touchdown pass. Then with only 44 seconds remaining in the game, who was it? Sage Steinmetz on this 1-yard touchdown run. That's where we are at halftime, 14-12 with the Jacksonville edge. Now let's take a look at the first half stats, Bobby.
Hate to sound like a broken record, but it's obvious. Jacksonville is dominating up front, as evident by the rushing yards, while Morgan Spencer in her first start for Baltimore is struggling to produce anything through the air.
It all really comes down to one half of football. This one will go down in the history books. The second half kickoff after this.
Another look at beautiful downtown Baltimore. Inside the Baltimore Arena, Mitch Mortaza, Bobby Hugo, as we get started here, second half play. And Bobby, here's a look at the two running backs tonight.
TC Mesta, solid first half, but Sage Steinmetz just sensational with over 13 yards per carry.
A great running back duo, and before we kick it off, we go back down to the field with Courtney Seawack.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with former Washington Redskin Gary Clark. Coach, you're within 2 points of the #1 ranked Jacksonville Breeze. What's your strategy coming into the second half?
Similar to what we had in the first half, we just got to stop them. Sage is killing us on the run, and their defense is very strong. But we knew that coming into the game. We wish it was tied or we was ahead by 1. We got to convert our extra points. We haven't done that. We convert our extra points. We're ahead by 2. So more of the same, but our defense just has to stop Sage. She's running all over us.
Good luck to you. Back to you guys.
You have have to convert extra points in big games, and big players have to play big in big games. In the second half, Morgan Spencer, this is her team this year. They were 3-1 last year with her and Angela Rippon. They're against a tough team tonight in Jacksonville, but let's see how she plays in the second half.
And Spencer will get us underway here with the kickoff. That is Ziegler deep to return. She's going to bring it out to the 5 at about the 10. Still fighting. And motors to about the 12-yard line. About a 15-yard return for Lauren Ziegler, and that is where Jacksonville will take over.
Lauren Ziegler showing the athlete that she is, but that was just bad lane discipline by Baltimore. They had 3 chances to stop her, and she got by all of them.
Oh, and this could be big, Bobby. That is Kim Jack of Baltimore down on the ground.
It looks like her shoulder right here. It's a legal stiff arm by Lauren Ziegler. That's legal right there to the helmet, and it jacked her shoulder into the ground. Looks like she's okay, though, but she's getting up. They're pulling on the shoulder, so it's got to be okay.
It has been a physical game, Bobby, and we've got a few of the players mic'd up. Let's listen in.
Wow, these are the beasts of the East, and it showed on those hits. This game is sensational so far as action, the fire in the girls tonight, LFL football at its best.
The 5th anniversary game, and these two both know how big of a stage this is tonight, as all of the LFL world is closely watching this game. Now a 1st and 10 for Jacksonville. And there's a handoff to Steinmetz on the left side, finding a lane and getting to the outside, and still motoring. And that is another 28 yards for Sage Steinmetz.
If it ain't broke, you don't fix it. 111 yards already early in the 3rd quarter. She's on a record-breaking pace tonight. Sensational, just incredible night by Sage Steinmetz. Her leg explosion off the line of scrimmage is second to none.
I think the scary thing for the East, for all the teams watching this, is not only Sage Steinmetz, it's that big front line we've talked about this entire night. Because Baltimore is not a pushover defensively up front, and they are being, I was going to say manhandled, in this case, female handled.
Absolutely, and the crazy part is Jacksonville has a sensational passing game to go along with it, and they don't need it tonight.
A complete offense. Now a 1st and goal from the 10. Matheny in the shotgun again. Another inside handoff to Sage Steinmetz, this time on the right side. And Steinmetz will get about 6 yards on that play. Heather Hudson coming up on the stop.
Coach Clark mentioned he had to stop Steinmetz somehow in the second half. I don't see any change in the defensive alignment. Safety's up or linebackers up in the line of scrimmage. It's not different in the first half. And she's running, literally running all over him.
Steinmetz having a career night. And this Baltimore defense was one of the better ones last season. They are just being tossed around like an expansion team tonight. Matheny back in the shotgun once again. There's the snap to Matheny, fakes the handoff. Scrambling now to the right, looking for anybody. Finds Steinmetz, and of course, who scores? It is Sage Steinmetz once again. Bobby, what can you do if you're this Baltimore defense?
Nothing right now. And I love the end zone celebration. In the NFL, you can celebrate. It can be pre-planned. And Jacksonville does it as good as anybody. KK Matheny showing her poise in the pocket. Obviously, that's not the play selection, but two wily veterans getting together like street football. Sage Steinmetz came out of the backfield and caught a pass in the flat. It's like playing touch in the street. Great play by KK Matheny and Steinmetz.
And that gives Jacksonville a 20-12 lead in this all-important game in the Eastern Conference. As we approach about 5 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. This Jacksonville offense finally hitting on all cylinders. The extra point attempt, Matheny back in the shotgun. Quick left side pitch, that one goes to Dina Wajowski again. And and that will extend Jacksonville's lead to 21-12.
Just great play selection by Damon Jones. Nobody accounts for the center on man-to-man coverage, which Baltimore was in inside the 5-yard line. She snaps the ball, waits for the secondary drop, and then comes straight down the line of scrimmage. Nobody's covering the center. Second time they've hit Wachowski for points.
This is an all-important drive for Baltimore if they want to stay in this game. Now down 21-12, and it feels like this one's about to break open, Bobby.
They look tired right now. The defense was huffing and puffing. Right now, the offensive huddle doesn't seem to have any spark in it. And look at Jacksonville. They're starting to get a little jiggy to them. They're feeling good, talking some trash, and this could get ugly, Mitch. I don't know.
Bobby dating himself with a jiggy reference. Morgan Spencer under center now.
Why don't you just go ahead and kick my dog while you're at it?
Now Baltimore, 1st and 10 play. There's a handoff to T.C. Mesta, trying to find a lane, and that's Juanita Okana coming up from the corner position to lay a lick.
Wow. Juanita Okana, watch this. Read, react, then attack. Lays the wood on T.C. Mesta.
And that is how you attack a very brutal running back in Mesta. And Purnell has a roach in her pants or something, but they're loving this. This is just becoming fun now for Jacksonville. And there's Morgan Spencer going to try the right side. And she'll gain about 5 yards. That is enough for a Baltimore first down. That is one thing that she gave this offense that Rippon did not. And that was the ability to create plays when they're busted.
That might be what they need right now, Mitch. She's deceptively quick out of the pocket like that, but they need a spark to get back in this ball game.
A 1st and 10 play. There's a pass across the middle. Dangerous. Once again, Onita Okana breaking that up.
It looked like Morgan had a little bit of ghosts in the pocket. She felt ghosts in the pocket. The receivers were open. She had all kinds of time, but did not deliver a strike, not even close.
They are giving her the opportunity to open up the offense a little bit. So there is some confidence coming from Coach Clark, as they do believe in Morgan Spencer.
She can play. She made big plays last year, but right now she has to step up.
2nd and 10. And I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like the safety kept it. Allie Dickey trying to run the fumble Ruski, but that'll be a loss of a yard.
They were hoping for an all-out blitz and run the fumble Ruski right up the middle. Gary Clark again trying to niche play, and it didn't work.
3rd and 11 now. Spencer back in the pocket, trying to get away from the rush. And that's Sage Steinmetz doing it on both sides of the ball.
Wow, we talked about it in the pregame. She has the ability to blow up offensive lines, and she just did it. The Baltimore slung and then punched. That should have been a penalty, but what a play on defense by Sage Steinmetz. She is on her way. If she plays like this all year, she'll be the league's MVP.
And Morgan Spencer, she should have just gotten rid of the ball there. Instead took an 8-yard sack, and that'll set up a 4th and 19 from the Baltimore 17.
There's not many plays in the offensive playbook for this right here, but they have to come up with something. They have to give it a shot, or this game's going to get out of hand. Morgan Spencer right now has to make a big play somehow, just make it happen.
And interesting, we have not seen Spencer in the shotgun all night. Under center again, there's the handoff of all things, and that goes to T.C. Mesta, and look at the speed of Jacksonville's defense.
Mitch, Gary Clark's called a great game so far. I don't know about that call right there. 4th and 19, that play had no shot, and again, it's a huge turning point. You're giving up the ball to a hot Jacksonville team who's probably just going to run it right down the throat of Baltimore again. I don't know about that call at all.
It is definitely a game of field position, and you just gave up the ball on the 19-yard line on your side of the field against Sage Steinmetz in this Jacksonville offense. Now a 1st and 10 play from the Baltimore 19. Matheny trying to send her receiver in motion. Little pitch out play to, of course, Sage Steinmetz. And Brittany Johnson coming up once again from that safety position to lay the lumber.
Brittany Johnson is a warrior coming from safety. She hits high, and she has got to be very, very, very strong to hit Sage Steinmetz coming full bore like a train, and she takes her out of bounds into the sideline. Wow, what a hit from the safety.
Not sure that's going to slow down Steinmetz much. Although that Brittany Johnson is making a name for herself on opening night. Now a 2nd and 5 play from the Baltimore 14. Another shotgun play to Matheny on the right side pass now. That one to Lauren Ziegler. That goes for 8 yards, and that'll be enough for a Jacksonville 1st and goal.
This team is going to be unstoppable when their passing game gets going. They didn't need it tonight. Ziegler on a little in route right here. Great throw right there. Jacksonville is on a mission tonight. This season, they might be on a mission. I don't want to say anything bad about Yo Murphy, their coach who retired. He is a great coach, but he never took them to the championship.
Are you sure? Hey, go ahead.
When it rains, it pours. That is another penalty on Baltimore. And that'll take the ball about half the distance and set up Jacksonville at the Baltimore 3.
KK Matheny, I love to hear her in the huddle. She is such a leader. Morgan Spencer, she's getting there. I mean, this is her first year full-time as a starter, but she should watch films how KK runs a team.
Now a 1st and goal play from the Baltimore 3. Ziegler in motion. Fake handoff to Ziegler. Of course, inside handoff to Steinmetz. And that is Steinmetz's 3rd touchdown of the night. Once again, a career night for number 11. As she's able to do just about everything against this defense.
She just personally ran through 3 defenders, and she still has the talent to do the worm after she scores.
Just an incredible athlete out of the backfield, Sage Steinmetz.
This is absolutely one of the most astounding performances I've ever seen by an LFL player tonight. She has personally controlled this game on both sides of the ball.
With only 2 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter, Jacksonville starting to pull away in this one, 27-12. And they're going to go for the 1-point attempt here.
The crazy part is, Mitch, they have so many superstars we haven't even mentioned tonight because they don't need them tonight.
It has definitely been a one-person show for Jacksonville. Shotgun snap to Matheny, going to try that right side quick dump off again. This time the defense stepping up. So the score will remain 27-12 Jacksonville as we get down to 1 quarter of play. Queen is rocking in Jacksonville, but we're actually in Baltimore.
That's not good.
That's not the scenario you want if you're Baltimore.
You don't want the other team jamming in your home arena.
A 27-12 lead for Jacksonville. Lauren Ziegler and company are just having fun now.
This Baltimore defense, we thought with Jack and company, they were going to step up tonight, but they're just not there tonight. They're going to have to come up with something to get back in the race for the Eastern Conference.
And Morgan Spencer now will go to work with Allie Dickey, who just gets crunched by Ziegler. But Dickey does get 14 yards. And by the way, this is only a 2-score game.
Absolutely right. And Allie Dickey, she had a great season last year. This could be her breakout season if they get it going together. Morgan Spencer, she's had not a great night, not a terrible night. She looks like she controlled the team. They just got to get it all together.
And what a lot of people don't understand, obviously, in the LFL, there are no preseason games, so it does take time to come together as a group.
Tempers are starting to flare, Mitch.
It is definitely a heated game, and we've been watching it all night. We're going to let the fans listen in on some of this action.
You gotta love it, Mitch. Baltimore's not backing down. It looked like Jacksonville started all those fights right there, but Baltimore's right back in their face. The only problem is Baltimore needs a little less conversation, a little more action.
And stop wearing those horrible purple suede shoes.
Nice.
And that's Morgan Spencer, 2nd and 6. There's the handoff, end around reverse this time to Allie Dickey. And Spencer, looking like a quarterback trying to lay a block, completely whiffs her person.
Mitch, I don't know why Gary Clark doesn't go back to basic football that worked for him. A little play action pass, a little run here or there with T.C. Benson like they did the first series. The double reverses aren't working. Their basic play selections were.
That end around reverse sets up a 3rd and 2 in an all-important drive that Baltimore has got to come away with some points. Ball's at the Jacksonville 13, another reverse, another double reverse. This time Morgan Spencer, the big quarterback, motors for almost 11 yards.
That's the first time in my 5 years in the LFL I've seen a triple reverse. It's almost like the triple Lindy. But it worked. It should have been 6 right there. I thought Morgan Spencer, with her ability, would have taken it in the end zone. But a crazy but good call by Gary Clark.
That trickery now sets up a 1st and goal. Morgan Spencer showing her athletic ability. And the reason they named her the starter when they lost Angela Rippon to free agency. 1st and goal, bad snap. And Allie Dickey able to fall on the ball, but Baltimore loses 2 yards. And Dickey's not happy at something.
She thinks the defensive lineman hit her before she could snap the ball. She was yelling at the ref. Watch this close. It was perfectly timed by Jacksonville. I don't know what Allie Dickey's upset about. It was a good play.
That was a Polamalu play at the line of scrimmage. Way to anticipate the snap by Wojciechowski.
Absolutely.
Spencer under center now. Quarterback draw on the right side. And Spencer rushes for about 3 yards.
Juanita O'Connor came up from the outside edge right there. Watch out for her this year. She's playing strong tonight. To mix in with this talented defense, it's going to be hard for her to be a superstar, but she's playing solid defensive football.
A 3rd and goal now from the Jacksonville 1-yard line as the clock continues to roll. Clock does not stop till we get inside of 2 minutes. And here is Morgan Spencer absolutely getting lit up by Juanita O'Connor and Adrian Purnell.
Purnell we know about. She is as intense a hitter as anybody. But again, O'Connor coming up. She may become an all-league player the way she's playing.
And now you got to factor, Bobby, that this is the play of the game. 4th and goal from the Jacksonville 3. And the Baltimore crowd knows it. Being down 2 scores here, this is crucial. Spencer back in the pocket, looking right, looking left, gonna go left. And Lauren Ziegler, who we've talked about all night, steps in front of that pass.
Nobody closes on the ball in the LFL like Lauren Ziegler. For a second here, Morgan sees her open in the back of the end zone, but as soon as she looks at the receiver, Ziegler closes on the ball. Huge play by Jacksonville.
Stop. Oh, so you... And Ziegler earning every honor. A 2013 all-fantasy safety. And she could have very easily ended the game for Baltimore on that play.
That was huge play for Morgan Spencer and Baltimore. They get in, they're back in the ballgame. As you mentioned, even though there's less than 4 minutes, the onside kicks come into effect in the LFL. They get a chance to get the ball back and score quickly, but Ziegler put an end to that.
Now the clock starts again. Matheny under center, and you've got to think Jacksonville's going to work on the clock here. That handoff to Tara Richardson. Richardson goes for 7 yards on that handoff.
How many weapons does Jacksonville have? Angie Williams last year was in one of the biggest wow moments in LFL for last season, and now they pull Tal Richardson in, who with 3 people grabbing at her gets 7 yards. The talent is unending here.
A lot of depth across all positions. But once again, they're one of those teams that has great regular seasons and then just deflates in the postseason.
Well, Damon Jones hasn't been there yet. I mean, the way he's coaching tonight, he might get hired by the Jacksonville Jaguars. But we'll see. Nothing against Joe Murphy, but Damon Jones might be the ticket for the Jacksonville Breeze.
2nd and 3 now. Handoff to Steinmetz. Look out. And that is the only open field tackle we've seen on Steinmetz. And that was courtesy of T.C. Mesta. But that'll be enough for another Jacksonville first down, and nothing you can do about the clock if you're Baltimore.
Not at all. You know what? They have the backs that can grind it out. They haven't stopped Steinmetz or anybody for that matter all night. Why do you think they're going to do it now? They need to stop, but it's hard to envision that happening.
Now the veteran quarterback, K.K. Matheny, going to milk this clock all the way down to the 2-minute warning, and there it is. Jacksonville looking to take every second off this clock it can. And when we return, we are down to 2 final minutes of football, and Jacksonville in control. Welcome back to the Baltimore Arena. And boy, do we have another big Eastern Conference matchup next week on LFL Football Night. It's Lindsey Noble and the Omaha Heart traveling to Jacksonville to take on Adrian Purnell and this Breeze team next week on LFL Football Night. 2 minutes remain, and Jacksonville on top, commandingly 27-12. Bobby, the options are kind of limited now for Baltimore. You hope for a turnover.
You got to hope for a turnover. You got to hope they throw the ball, and who knows if they will do that. You know, the odds say you keep running the ball, run the clock down, but they got to somehow get a turnover, try to strip the ball, even cause a penalty to try to get the ball out.
A 1st and 10 now from the Jacksonville 15. Matheny under center, going to take a shot down the right side, and that's Adrian Purnell wide open, and that'll be enough for yet another first down for Jacksonville.
Nothing's going wrong for Damon Jones tonight. You'd think they run the clock out, which is probably why he made that play-action call. He thought that Baltimore would bring the house. He does a play-action pass. Purnell wide open down the sideline for 16 yards.
Another 1st and 10, this time at the Baltimore 19-yard line. And Jacksonville sending a message to the Eastern Conference, and for that matter, the Western Conference. There's another handoff, this time to Steinmetz. And Steinmetz motors for 8 yards.
Mitch, you hit the nail on the head. This is the Jacksonville team that everybody thought was going to show up in a championship game last year. They choked at the end of the year. Maybe this year it will be Jacksonville against Chicago, which people wanted last year.
Los Angeles and Seattle will be very upset to hear you say that, Bobby.
I love Seattle and I love Los Angeles, but the defending champs are Chicago.
Las Vegas, Green Bay, there's several other teams. We are only 1 game into the season. Do not deflate their balloons just yet.
I love Las Vegas and I love Green Bay, but Green Bay's losing their quarterback. So I'm talking about the elite teams right now on paper, and Jacksonville is at the top of the heap.
I agree with you there. A 1st and goal now from the Baltimore 6. Another handoff to Steinmetz, and she just does not stop. Steinmetz going for 5 yards on that play. And there was a fumble, apparently. It looked like the ball came out. Looks like they've retained possession.
Clock's still running. They have the ball.
I thought she lost the ball there, and now Steinmetz asking for a breather.
Mitch, I don't think Gary Clark and Baltimore should have their head down. I mean, compared to how they opened the season last year, they were terrible. This year, If you watch that first half, they're a solid football team. They just have to put a first half and a second half together, which they did not tonight.
And they got away from their game plan early in the second half, falling behind to Jacksonville. We didn't see much of TC Mesta at all.
Absolutely right.
Now a 1st and goal play. That's another handoff. And that was to Tara Richardson, and this time they do lose the ball. Yeah, they lost the ball. Baltimore has come up with it. Not sure how much good that's going to do you with 30 seconds.
I'd like to see it, though, Mitch. That shows a lot of fire on that defensive part. They could have been saying this game's over, you know, throw it in, pack it in. They didn't. They tried to strip the ball, and they got the ball back. Only 30 seconds, but you have to like the fire in that defense.
Baltimore will have yet another shot to score. If you want any hope of scoring, it's got to be a deep ball score and then hope for an onside kick and then another score.
It's not going to happen, Mitch.
And there's Spencer going to look down the field. No, this is going to be a quick drop. Nobody there. Or just overshot her receiver, Savannah Dickey.
Morgan Spencer has the gun. She can throw it the length of the field. I mean, that's the only shot they have the pass interference call or one of the Dickey sisters coming up with the ball.
There's a look at the 5th anniversary logo, which all players will wear this year on the back of their helmets. Here's Spencer again in the end zone. Another short drop off. Not even looking down the field.
At this point of the game, you have to throw it deep. I mean, I know she's trying to go through reads. The safeties are back there. They got everybody covered, but you have to take a shot now. Hope for a pass interference or a bobble ball that they catch and take it in like Auburn did. But you can't throw it underneath with 20 seconds left in the game.
And the big key for Jacksonville here, Bobby, they've got another game next week at home against Omaha, and they're going to leave here pretty healthy.
Omaha is solid. Jacksonville's healthy and solid. That should be a great football game.
Omaha did beat Jacksonville in Omaha last year. So that'll be a great matchup next week on LFL football night. And there's the young lady we've been talking about all night. Look at those numbers.
Incredible.
Not an animal, a manimal. She's a manimal.
This should be the last play in the game. Morgan Spencer back to drop again on the left side. That was incomplete. There's Adrian Purnell just getting back from Australia, having a near championship season down there, and now hoping to cap her LFL career this year, I'm sure, with a U.S. Legends Cup champion with her sisters here.
What kind of athlete is Adrian Purnell? 3 seasons in a row. U.S., Australia, now back to the U.S. Incredible athlete.
And there is the final knee. KK Matheny, Dina Wachowski, Lauren Ziegler. The Jacksonville Breeze are 1-0, and bitter disappointment in Baltimore. Competitive in the first half, but deflated in the second. And now we go down to the field with Courtney Seawack.
Hey guys, I'm here with Adrian Purnell and Sage Steinmetz. Adrian, you just got back from Australia. Huge win on the road tonight. How excited are you about this?
Oh my God, you don't even understand. I just played with my sisters that I haven't played with in over a year, and I'm just so excited. It's just more to come for the season. We just showed you a piece.
Now, Sage, MVP-like performance from you. Is this what we can expect to see from you for the rest of the season?
You bet, you bet. I got more coming, more fire. All night, baby. All night. I think it's
You guys heard it here. Back to you.
Thanks, Courtney. Great debut game for our new sideline reporter, Courtney Seawack. And Baltimore, a day of dejection. And Jacksonville, the complete opposite. They will play next week back home against Omaha. For Bobby Huco and Courtney Seawack, this is Mitch Mortaza. We will see you next week from Jacksonville, Florida for LFL Football Night. Good night.